What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, Hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. A brand new season has started, Season 5, Episode 1, Far Trek, The Next Generation. So we are back with another season of 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. A whole new set. Well, not really. There's been some oldies have returned, but we have somewhat of a new set of people who I believe, instead of being on a reality TV show, should be sitting on somebody's therapy couch. It's very exploitive to me how TLC chooses people who have a lot of unresolved issues, and instead of recommending that they go see a therapist, it's like, no, you'll be great for reality TV. You're very fragile. You're very insecure. You have a lot of toxic qualities. Yeah, let's go ahead and put you on reality TV for the whole world to dissect you. But here we go. So let's start off with Brandon and Mary. So Brandon is 23 years old from Oregon. Mary is also 23 years old, and she lives in the Philippines. Now keep in mind, 90 Day Fiance The Other Way is when the American makes plans to leave the United States of America and go live in a foreign country with the love of their life. So Brandon, I'm just going to pick out the things that really stood out for me. Brandon and Mary have this, which I hate to overuse this word because it's become so cliched, but they do have a very toxic relationship. They're very codependent. They're very obsessed with each other. They're extremely insecure of themselves and very insecure of their relationship. There's a lot of jealousy issues. There's enough jealousy issues in this relationship to last you for years to come. So what they do is, ever since they've met, they have been on constant video call with one another, or video chat, video call. And when they go to sleep, they're on camera with one another. When they go into the bathroom, they're on camera with one another. When they leave their homes to go shopping or do whatever outside, they're on camera with one another. It's extremely sickening. And if this is real, and I always have to preface when I talk about these couples, because I mean, some of these people they got shenanigans. If this is real, then this is a really sad relationship, and it's very uncomfortable to watch because they are so young and already exhibiting very dangerous, toxic qualities that this relationship is just doomed for disaster. Just a little bit of background. Brandon, they've been dating online for 2 years. Brandon lives in an RV on his godparents' property. And he ended up with his godparents because his parents divorced when he was a baby. His mom got custody of him. She subsequently had 2 additional children with somebody else. She lost custody of her children because of an addiction problem. Her 2 younger children went into the foster care system. Brandon went to his father. So he went to go stay with his father, like around 15 years old or so. His father was not the best caretaker. I think he said that his dad was very demanding and very hostile. So he ran away from his dad's home. He ended up somehow or another with his godparents, and now he's 23 years old, living in a mobile home on their property. He doesn't pay rent to them, but he earns his keep by doing work around their property. He said that Mary saved him from himself. He saw Mary as somebody that was completely out of his league. And he said that Mary brought color to his life. So for him to say all of these things, that he's extremely dependent on her, that, she kind of gives him a reason to live, a reason to wake up another day. So that makes him extremely codependent on her, which makes him very controlling of her. So finally, he has saved enough money now to go to the Philippines. He never had enough money to begin with, so he's worked enough. He's able to save enough money, and of course, it's easy to save when you don't have rent to pay. So he had saved enough money now that he's going to be going on his way to the Philippines to meet Mary for the very first time. They are absolutely obsessed with each other, and it's obsession that is just extremely it's just dangerous. It's bad all the way around. There's nothing cute about their obsession with one another. There's nothing admirable about it. Nobody wants to live like this, but here we are. So because they're so obsessed with one another, they have like the weirdest habits. He sent her a sweat-soaked shirt because he wanted her to have something of his where she could actually smell him. And because they can't be around one another, this was the next best thing. Was a nasty, disgusting, sweaty shirt. He mailed it to her, and I don't know what she did with it. I'm assuming she wraps herself in it every night. I have no idea. Why don't you send her a shirt with your favorite cologne? Why does it have to be like, I guess she really wanted the essence of him. So they fight almost every day because they're so jealous of one another. For example, when he went to the dentist office, of course, he took his phone with him. He had to have the camera on for her to see what the hell is going on. And she got jealous because the dentist was a female. And it got even worse because the dentist asked him, is this his first true love or something like that? Is this the first time that he's been in love? And he made the awful mistake by saying no, it wasn't the first time that he's ever been in love. Well, when Mary heard that, she starts crying on the other end. The dentist is like, what the hell is going on here? I've heard of people being obsessed with one another, but this is like on a whole nother level. So he tries to calm her down, try to talk her off the edge. The whole entire thing was just so cringy, so uncomfortable to watch. Now, moving on to Mary. So Mary lives in a very small town in the Philippines. She lives with her grandparents because her own parents abandoned her when she was 8 months old. So her parents were the one that left when she was 8 months. But I think he also said his parents were divorced. Well, anyway, they got divorced when he was a baby. So Mary, her parents left her and her siblings when she was only 8 months old. So she has serious issues of abandonment. Once again, if I was a producer or an executive at TLC and this story came across my desk of this 23-year-old young lady who has abandonment issues because her parents abandoned her when she was a baby, she has this weird, toxic, obsessive relationship with this guy, I would be like, you know what? I'm willing to pay for her to get therapy. She's not going to come on my television show for me to make a mockery of her. I'm going to pay for her to get therapy. That's what I would do if I was an executive at TLC. I wouldn't take these type of delicate situations and expose them and just what's the word? Like take advantage of these situations just to make a buck. I wouldn't do it. So even though they're supposed to video chat or video call each other 24 hours around the clock, there are times when she will unplug the Wi-Fi because she wants to go hang out with her male friends, and she'll tell Brandon that there's a power outage in her town. To justify why she's not on video call with him. So she'll turn off the Wi-Fi on purpose to go hang out with her homeboys. So we do see a scene of her hanging out with her homeboys. It's all very platonic. I don't think obviously there's nothing going on between her and any of these guys, but because they're male, she can't tell him about it because she also has a problem with him being around anything with the slightest bit of estrogen in it, even if it's his own relatives. So we find out that Mary is a virgin, even though she was in a previous relationship. She says she's never been touched. She's never been kissed. She's Catholic. She takes her religion very seriously. But then it doesn't stop her and Brandon from having phone sex, even though she claims that she's a devout Catholic. So she's Catholic, never been touched, never been kissed, etc. This next part was the saddest part for me. This young girl living in this impoverished town, okay, poor. She had an opportunity to go to college on a dance scholarship. She gave all of that up because Brandon didn't like her dancing. He didn't want her dancing. So she gave all of that up. Her opportunity to go to school, all of that flushed down the toilet because she has a very insecure boyfriend. And these people think that it's cute when your partner is extremely insecure to the point where they're stifling your life. So she gave up dancing. She also was a model. She made money off of modeling, but there were some pretty risque type of pictures. So Brandon didn't, though she's a devout Catholic, Brandon didn't like that. And so Brandon made her stop that as well. So Brandon, are you sending her money because you killed her future by making her quit school? You killed her income by making her stop modeling. So are you sending her money to support her or what? And she says that if it doesn't work out with Brandon, she's going to become a nun. Hell yeah, you're going to become a nun, because what else can you do? You have no education and no money and no prospects of anything, because this man took everything away from you. Yeah, you are going to become either a nun or homeless. So then we go back to Brandon. His mom and his siblings come over, and the mom is she is not feeling this relationship at all. His siblings aren't either. And while he's having, pizza with his mom and the siblings, Mary is there on the phone, on video, right? She's listening to everything, even though she herself is on mute. So she's there listening to everything. His family thinks that this is just weird, it's strange, and they don't like it. They tell him that this woman has too much control over you. His siblings tell him that she's taking you away from us. You don't get to spend any time with us, because she does not allow Brandon to go see his mom or his siblings, because there's other females that live there. And I think they even indicated that Mary has a problem with Brandon hanging out with his own mom and sister because they're female. And I'm just like, these are people that need to be sitting on somebody's therapy couch, not on TV to be exploited like this. So the mom keeps telling him, and his siblings are like, this is not right for you. This is not good for you. Brandon doesn't want to hear it. He says the only reason why we're like this is because we're not around one another. But once we are together, it's not going to be as crazy as it is right now. We're not going to be, so obsessed with one another. It's going to be a whole lot better once we are able to be around each other. Well, we shall definitely see. So he still plans to go to the Philippines, of course. I don't like it. His mom don't like it. His brother and sister don't like it. But we'll see what happens. I don't anticipate a happy ending with Brandon and Mary. I hope that neither one of them ends up in jail or worse, because these type of relationships, these type of very controlling relationships, they never end well. Moving on to Holly and Wayne. So Holly is 44 years old from Utah. Wayne is 40 years old from South Africa. She's the one with the 70-inch hair. So she's a barber. She has she has a license in cosmetology, esthetician, and barber, but she'd rather do men's hair than women's hair, because she says women complain too much. So she focuses on being a barber. She also says she has ADHD. Like half of the people on 90 Day Fiance have ADHD. She's been married 2 times before. The first marriage, they lived together for only 2 months before they divorced. The second marriage, it was annulled after 12 hours. So that already says so much about Holly. She met Wayne online. So we get to see Wayne. I don't know what he was talking about, because I was so distracted by his vampire teeth. He's got these vampire teeth, and as he's talking, I cannot focus on anything he's saying other than his vampire teeth, his fangs. So I think she had gone to South Africa to meet him. She was there for about 1 week. And I think he had proposed to her while she was over there. And she was so shocked, I guess, that she ran away. Maybe because she thought she was going to be entering some type of vampire cult. So she ran away when he proposed to her. So he had to go chasing after her. And but then I guess she ended up saying yes. So they're officially engaged now. What else can I say about these people? When she arrives in South Africa, she says that they're going to have to get married within a week. And I don't know if it's because of immigration issues or if this is just what they want. Her mom is going to be traveling with her. Oh, because they're Jehovah's Witnesses. So Holly and Wayne, they're Jehovah's Witnesses, and they can't be alone because of their religion. So her mom is going to be traveling with her as the chaperone. Between her, 5-minute marriages and his vampire teeth, this was too much for me. Moving on to Julio and Kirsten. Julio is 27 years old from New York. Kirsten is 24 years old from the Netherlands. So he's a DJ. He's also a school safety officer. What is that exactly? Is that the person, like the crossing guard, that takes the kids from one side of the road to the other? Or what exactly is that? But he's got money. Even though he's a DJ at some restaurant and he's a school safety officer, homeboy's got money because he does a lot of traveling. He has traveled to 28 different countries. He loves to travel. It's really important to him. How do you travel so much, being a school safety officer. Is that some type of a administrative position? Like, what's going on? So he met Kirsten online, of course. As much traveling as he's done all over the world, he could not meet one single female. He ends up meeting someone online, which he could have done, in his own bedroom. Him and Kirsten, they both love to travel. So initially he thought he was being catfished because she refused to video chat with him. So they were just corresponding. I guess she was sending him pictures, and she's one of those people, like, she photographs really well. She's very photogenic. So, and her pictures are the type of pictures that people would use to catfish other people because they're so like perfect Instagram model type of pictures. So he thought he was being catfished. So he did take a trip to the Netherlands to meet her, and he wasn't being catfished. She is who she is. And when he went to go see her in the Netherlands, it was during the pandemic. And as soon as he arrived over there, everything was on lockdown, instantly quarantined. So they were stuck together for like a week. They talk about how awkward it was being stuck together in this hotel because they didn't know each other. But eventually they said it got real comfortable. So that's how their relationship started. And because they were forced in this contained environment where they were with each other 24/7 for like a week straight, he said this expedited their relationship, put their relationship on a fast track. So he says that they are, even though they haven't known each other that long altogether, being quarantined together helped them get to know each other really well. So he feels like he's at that point now where he's ready to leave America to go live with her in the Netherlands. The only issue is his friends and family don't know it. So he said that when it comes to settling down, he knew that when he got married and began having his own family, he said that he knew he was going to live outside of the United States. He never had any intentions of living in America. So even though he claims that this has always been his plan, I'm thinking to myself, you never voiced this to your mother? Because when he ended up finally telling his mom that he was going to be leaving America to go live somewhere else, the mom had a breakdown. She couldn't take it. She could barely even finish filming. She was so brokenhearted to hear that her son was going to be leaving. So I'm thinking, if he had always planned to leave America, you never told your mom this to kind of get her prepared that one day you're going to be leaving. Not only did he not tell his mom this, he didn't even tell his mom about Kirsten until about 2 weeks prior. So they've been dating for a while. I don't know exactly how long, maybe a couple of years or so. They've been dating for a while, but he has never told his mom about her. So their plan is for Kirsten to come to the United States, to come to New York to meet his family, and then they're going to leave to go back to the Netherlands together. So he told his mom about Kirsten 2 weeks before she's supposed to arrive. So the mom, she barely is, getting to know this girl's name, barely getting used to the idea of her son being in this serious relationship. And now she's finding out that her son's going to end up leaving in a couple of weeks to go to the Netherlands, go on the other side of the world, and who knows when's the next time he's going to see her. So the mom was like digesting all of this all at once. Okay, you have a serious girlfriend and you're going to be leaving. And it was a lot. It was a lot for the mom. She was crying. She was so brokenhearted. It was so difficult to watch because it's been her and him for so long. They moved to the United States from the Dominican Republic when he was like 8 years old. And it's just been the two of them for forever. I don't know if she's had other children after him. I don't know, but they've been, so close with one another ever since he was a little boy. And now he's just going to fly. Like, why wouldn't you kind of anyways, it's not my life. It's not my business. So the mom was taking it really, really hard. And he was having a conversation with one of his homeboys before he told his mom. And his homeboy was like, man, your mom is going to be devastated when she finds out. But he's like, you know what? I got to live my life. I got to do what I got to do for me. Now, let's talk about Kirsten real quick. So Kirsten, she's one of those people that she looks like she lives on social media. Her whole life takes place on social media. All the little pictures and her social media postings that they showed us, she's doing the duck lips. She's doing the little cutesy poses. She's one of those people, like even when she was with Julio, when they were together in the Netherlands, they would take pictures together. She was so disconnected from him because she was just so focused on herself and how she looked in the selfie. Just one of those people. So she says she lives in a very small village in, was it Denmark? Anyway, in the Netherlands. She lives in a really small village of about 3,000 people. She says she calls him Julio and not Julio because he wants to be called Julio. He thinks that Julio sounds more European than Julio. No, it sounds more stupid. Please have this woman call you Julio. Stop going by Julio. That just sounds ridiculous. So she says in the beginning of their relationship, she didn't FaceTime him because she was so nervous and so shy because she never saw herself ever dating an American. So for whatever reason, him being an American made her so shy, but here we are. So she finally makes it to New York, but she gets stuck in customs. And that's where their little segment ended. He's at the airport to go pick her up, but something happened in customs. They confiscated her passport. I think she's just playing with him. I think she's going to be, waltzing in while she's on the phone telling him that she's stuck in customs, and then she's going to surprise him from behind or something. Anyway, moving on to Armando and Kenny. So we know Armando and Kenny from 90 Day Fiance The Other Way in previous seasons. We're very familiar with who they are. So they're one of our oldies. So I'm not exactly sure. I guess people are still interested in their story because, there's this whole open-ended issue of whether or not they're going to have another child together, where they're going to live. But I thought I didn't think there was enough drama for Armando and Kenny to come back because they get along so well. They've been together for so long. I'm like, where's the drama with them? They're not going to have any type of blowout fights. They're not going to be not getting along that bad. They know how to resolve their issues. They're very, very, mature, down to earth, intelligent guys. So I'm like, why are they back? I mean, I love them on Pillow Talk, but to have like an entire season of Armando and Kenny, I was like, I don't know. So they met 7 years ago. They've been together for 3 years. Now their issue this season is, and we got to see little Hannah, Armando's little girl. We got to see her English is impeccable. So they live in Mexico, right? They live in a small town in Mexico. So Kenny wants to move to the bigger city of Mexico City. And Armando does not want to move to Mexico City because he's worried about, all the negative things that go along when you live in a really big city, the crime, pollution, too many people, etc. So he likes living in their small little town. So Kenny says, okay, let's just go try it out and then we'll go from there. So they plan on taking a trip to Mexico City and, stay there for just, a few weeks. And then after that, I guess they're going to make their final decision. Armando, his issue is he still wants to have a baby with Kenny. Kenny thinks that he's way too old to be taking care of a newborn, running after a toddler, etc. He's raised his own children. He has 4 children, a set of triplets, and a son. And he's like, I'm done with that. I'm okay with Hannah because, Hannah's pretty self-sufficient. But the whole thing about having a brand new baby, I don't know about that. But this is what Armando really wants. So I guess to sweeten the pot and sweeten the deal a little bit, Kenny tells Armando, well, if we move to Mexico City and you really want to have a baby, that'd be the best place. Be easier to find a surrogate in Mexico City. So they're going to go to Mexico City. We're going to see how it is. It took them 5 days. So I guess they were like on the complete opposite side of Mexico because it took them 5 days to drive from whatever town they're in to Mexico City. They arrived there. It's a nice little condo that they're going to be staying in. And so we'll see where we go from there. I have a feeling that probably by the end of the season, they're still not going to know what they want to do, whether they want to live in Mexico City or not, or whether or not they want to have a baby. Oh, and then another thing about them having a baby. Because Kenny keeps talking about how he's too old to have a newborn baby. Armando's like, so if you feel like it's an age thing, then we need to get on it. He doesn't see it as, oh, okay, you're 60 years old. Yeah, maybe you're too old to have a newborn. He sees it like, you're 60 years old. We're running out of time. We have to have another baby now. So we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of like on on Kenny's side about this whole baby thing. Armando's 34 years old, so he's extremely young. And yes, he would love to have more children. But if I can't do it at the age that I'm at now, let alone at 60 years old. Having a newborn after you're done raising your own children? No way. Stay strong, Kenny. Stay strong. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video if you like this content. Go ahead and subscribe, and I'll definitely talk to you later. Bye.